All right, we're back for episode 47 of Idiot Circle. I'm Mike.
I'm Fred.
I'm Rob.
Folks, here's a special guest, a legend from
Who's
back
special
in.
guest?
Two special guests.
Yes, well, I don't call it. Yeah, Tim's special, all right.
I am special.
Yes, a sports legend of Teconcha and Bath High School
Oh, jeez.
and Kalamazoo College, and a Marine City football coach, and my baseball coach for 4 years at Marine City, Mr. Tim Carlson. Tim, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. I feel very honored. I have to admit, I've never been a part of an idiot circle. I have been part of an idiot line, an idiot square, idiot triangle, even an idiot parabola, but not the first circle I've been part of.
Yikes! Not the octagon.
No octagons either.
Yeah.
Well, that's
now idiot circle. If you don't mind me asking, and sorry if I don't want to monopolize things here, but is that named after your loop you guys did in when you did your cruising?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. It's funny. I as you know, I've been other places, and almost every little town or city I've been in has something similar. They've never referred to it as idiot circle. It's usually, the cruising lane or whatever. But that's pretty neat title. That's pretty clever.
Mr. Carlson, we like to think we call ourselves the Idiot Circle for the cruise that we did through Marine City. I think it's just generally most people refer to Fred, Mike, and I as the Idiot Circle. So that's why yeah.
Well,
forget about me.
And Tim.
Yeah.
I would
We're
disagree.
We're
I think you guys are great. I mean, I think that's such a neat thing to do. I mean, I'm not sure what you do, but I mean, just the fact that
Neither are we.
Well, that makes 5 of us because we don't know what we do.
Yeah.
Well, you
We
can't
come
go
on
wrong.
the-
You don't
yeah,
have
we
a
go-
direction. You can't
right.
make any mistakes.
No,
Bingo.
we come on the show and you never know what's going to happen. So that's just the way it rolls out. But
That's the part I provide, Mr. Carlson. You never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
No,
He's
no.
the wild card.
Well, I don't have my glasses on, Rob, and your little fuzzy background, but is that a stripper pole behind you?
Just had it installed for my girlfriend. Let me ask her if she likes it. You don't like the stripper pole?
Oh, shoot, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping you'd get on that.
He's working on it. Don't let him fool you. He gets his hot pants on, the go-go boots, everything.
Yeah, the back of his knees.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fred.
The back of his knees are all chapped.
Well,
Practicing.
It looks very, very perpendicular, so I know Timmy McConnell hasn't used it yet.
No.
If Timmy used it, Timmy used
but-
it, break it out of the friggin' ceiling.
Well, that's how he injured his knee.
I'd get hurt.
Laid up. He's laid up with a knee injury from the pole.
So yeah.
So,
Sure.
can you guys, I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate again, and please don't hesitate to correct me, but tell me what you guys are up to. Mike, Rob, I know what Fred's up to a little bit. I know Timmy because I'm in contact with them, but you guys, I have no idea what you're doing. Are you still in Marine City or what?
Mike,
Go ahead,
you wanna
Rob.
start?
You go ahead, Rob.
Okay. I moved to California in 86, and then I moved in 96 or 97 to
I
Florida.
remember Rob.
I currently live in Florida, and I'm an account executive for a compliance company. So I'm boring just like most middle-aged white males.
But so you work with numbers, obviously.
Well, I work with more attorneys and contracts with companies that are trying to avoid OSHA, DOT, and EPA compliance.
I see. Yeah, I know an attorney really well, so I know how that goes.
Well, that's
Yeah, right. Yeah, Rob's the Chandler Bing of the group.
Yeah, he called me the Chandler Bing. Like, nobody knew what Chandler really did. He had a job, but nobody knew what he did, I guess.
Right.
Okay, and what about you, Mike?
Well, I'm the only one that lives in the city limits of Marine City. So I've been here all but I think 6 years of my life. I lived in St. Clair for a few years before I moved back to Marine City. Before that, I lived in Howell for a few years. But
Okay.
so I'm right in town. I'm a independent software consultant. I have my own company. It's a company of one, but so I implement a manufacturing software package with manufacturing companies. So I've been
Neat.
doing that for 15 years. And before that, I was implementing with a different company. So I've been doing it for probably 35 years. I've been implementing, 30 years at least. So,
Oh, wow, neat. Very nice. And you do both of you have families, I'm assuming?
yep, yep. I have a wife and 3 daughters
Oh,
and a
wow.
granddaughter as of a year ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I have I have a 9-year-old son, Mr. Carlson. I started late. I don't know what to call you. I've never really socialized with a past teacher. Do I call you, your honor, Mr. Carl? I don't know how this works.
Call him TC.
Yeah.
We call him
You-
TC.
It would be
TC.
confusing. You certainly can call me Tim, but it'd be confusing with Timmy. So whatever you're comfortable with, I'm comfortable with. Your
All
honor
right.
is probably not good because my wife has that title. So it'd be confusing. But Rob, whatever you're comfortable with, Tim's fine. Coach, Fred and Timmy usually call me coach, and I know I never coached you, but I did coach Mike. I remember JV basketball,
if-
and
If you don't mind,
You
I'll
did.
call you coach then.
that's perfect. That's
All
perfect.
right, there you go.
That's cool. Yeah, I got some. I got some great stories about Coach and on the field, off the field. But the funny thing is back in the day, what Coach used to do or would do with the kids in the outside of school, it would be so frowned upon. Now he'd probably
Oh,
been
man.
fired about 50 times. I mean, from going sledding with us in 9th grade, and every time he went down the hill, everybody jumped on top of him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot about
I
that.
remember
Yeah.
that.
I don't forget anything. So I'm the one. If you ever have, I'm Timmy's memory. So I'm like the computer for him. If any of these guys, if I get dementia, they're all in a lot of trouble.
That's good to know. I know you got a
Big
good
drop.
memory, Fred.
Yeah. So, and then the time that we went to Lakeside with Dale Volker, and I forgot to cash the check my mom gave me, and you said, "Hey, I'll take care of it." And he walked up to 2 strange women, didn't even know. He goes, "Hey, can I trade you this check for some cash?" And the ladies walked away. And he goes, "What? Look, it doesn't bounce." And he let it go, and let it float down to the floor.
Oh man,
Oh God.
Fred, you might have to wait until I'm off of this before you tell some of these stories.
Oh, those are. I mean, just the slick taters and the toadstools, and I mean all the terms used to say. But oh my God, I just remember just having a riot for 4 years for having you as a coach with my dad, and that was a riot. Those were some good teams that we had, and some
I was
excellent guys.
very fortunate. Marine City has some unbelievable athletes, and I was just hoping not to get in their way for the most part because you guys are excellent, and probably more importantly from my perspective, the parents, were super supportive. I couldn't have. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes. I was a young guy. I didn't know what that guy's doing most of the time. But they were. I have to be quite honest. I remember this vividly because even before I left, I was there for 5 years. I can only remember one incident where a parent at least approached me being upset about something I did or didn't do.
And I know who did it.
Yeah, but
I was there. All 3 of us were there. You were there, Tim, and that kid barely survived the year because who the hell do you think you are getting your dad in here?
Yeah.
And you know how Coach is. He told you to kick your dad in the head to get you to practice on time. Then you should get to practice on time. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Well, like I said, I made mistakes. So I mean, it's just speaks volume to the quality of people that were in that community and stuff. So I just really fortunate to be a part of it. So It was like Fred, I could just echo, I had a blast. I mean, every place I've been, I've enjoyed. I've been very fortunate to have really solid people to work with, and above me, below me. And it's just been a really enjoyable experience my whole career. And I do it again in a heartbeat, even though teaching is so doggone hard now. I mean, it's crazy what the expectations people have of teachers and our not just, I mean, our society. And I don't know how they do it, and I've worked with some unbelievable
Right.
people that teach well. But I don't want to get on that soapbox. I do want to get back to that sledding hill, because I do remember. I remember jump on that sled, and I don't know, 400, 500 people jumping on top of me.
Yep,
And then they all fall off, and I'm still going down the hill, and I'm on my back somehow, and they're all yelling and waving at me. It's like, stop.
You're waving to. You started waving back at us. I'm like,
yeah, I just waved. I don't know what they're doing, and I ran my head right into that. There's one little tree in that whole place, and I ran right in that thing.
yeah.
Nowadays, I would have been on, concussion protocol, because I went out for a second there. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it.
Mr. Carl or Coach, what have you been doing since,
Yeah,
give us
You
fill
asked
us in
me.
about your life.
Yeah, you asked about Rob and Mike asked you, so let's go.
Well, after I left Marine City, that I left on what is it, 87.
Mhm.
That fall, I married Carol. We got married.
That was a fun
and
wedding.
yeah, thanks. Probably not for Carol, but I had fun.
Right.
It was fun.
She kind of goes, "Look what I'm going to be stuck with for still what 35 years later." So she's a saint to be able to do that. You guys that know me a little well know how difficult I could be to be with. So she's unbelievable. But anyway, after that, and then I worked at Ionia school, school system a little bigger than Marine City. And I worked I was assistant principal, athletic director at the high school of about 1,100, 1,200 kids. And it was a busy job, because there was another assistant principal there for the first 2 years, John Skolton, and he got a principal's job. And so he left. So it's just two of us. It's Principal Mark Beeling, who's one of my best friends, and myself. So I was in charge of attendance, did some curriculum work, did all the athletics, discipline, so I got there usually 4:30 in the morning, and if I left by 9 or 10, that was a typical day. But again, I had no kids. Carol was starting out in her law firm, and we both worked a lot, so I loved it. But it was I wouldn't have done it if I had a family. That would have been very difficult. But so from Ionia, I actually we had Ethan, my son, what was that, in 96. And then the year after that, I resigned. I became the principal of elementary at Ionia, and I resigned that position to stay home with Ethan full time. So I stayed home with Ethan for 4 years, and then when he got into first grade, I got a job as assistant principal at a middle school in northwest of touching Grand Rapids, Kennewa Hills, and I did that for about 6 years, and then I got a position. They hired me as the elementary principal. They combined a bunch of elementary, made a big elementary, and I became the principal of that. And that's where I retired from. And I'll be retired 9 years now in July.
Wow.
So,
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
yeah.
9
Coach,
years.
talk about
Wow.
that transition from, teaching to admin. You go into the admin role. What did you hear old teachers that do that miss the teaching life, or did you just embrace it and just?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, Rob. When I went into education, I told myself I'll do this for 5, 6 years, and then what I wanted to do when I left Marine City, actually my goal was to go into administration, athletic administration at the college level. I become an AD at a small, like a Division III school, like I went to, Kalamazoo, Hope, Adrian, that size school. Because when I was in college at K, I worked as the title he gave me was student athletic director. I worked with Raleigh Anderson, who's athletic director there. Unbelievable guy, and really sparked my interest in doing that. But I didn't end up doing that. I stayed at the secondary level of education. And yeah, that transition is, it was, I miss the interaction, the relationship I formed with students, and, I didn't coach anymore. So student athletes and students, you miss that. I mean, fortunately, you could still, in the capacity I worked, I could still go into classrooms and just raise a lot of havoc and cause commotion and just, be sarcastic with kids
Your
and have
specialty.
fun. And
Oh my God.
and then leave, and I had to deal with the problem. So that worked out really well. and it does give you a lot more flexibility. When you're teaching, you're up there, you're performing every hour, all the time. It's you got to be on. And again, I love teaching. I love that interaction with kids. But the administration certainly allowed me to affect more individuals and give me more flexibility. And I tell everybody, teaching by far, in my opinion, is so much more difficult than what I did in administration. Now, teachers will tell you, no, I can't do what you're doing, deal with parents, blah, blah, blah. But it's a piece of cake compared to what teachers have to do. I mean, it really is. So, and I knew myself well enough. I could not teach for 20, 30 years. I was not made up that way. I don't think I would have been able to do it. I mean, if I was forced to, maybe, but it's not something I would have chosen to do.
Well, yeah. Well, someone like yourself back in the day, it was always the parents doing this to the kids. And then all of a sudden it turned around and they were pointing the fingers at the teachers. And it's, and the funny thing is you just sit there and go, dude, you might have a finger pointing at me, but get 3 pointing back at you. You're the problem, and you can't say that because then all of a sudden you're getting pulled in the office. You offended a parent and blah, 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 blah. Right now I work at St. Clair High School as the college advisor.
Oh, great.
And you hear some of the things that these counselors have to deal with on a daily basis. It's, and obviously the last 4 years have been totally what we say it isn't normal anymore. But to listen to some of the things that they have to deal with while I'm talking to kids about college stuff is just, I mean, I don't know how they get up every day and come back in the next day knowing they're going to get drilled again. It's crazy.
Yeah, Fred, I do want to clarify that I think, that certainly is out there, and that's a part that drives educators, crazy, and some of them to get out of the profession. But that, in my experiences, that was such a small minority of individuals. I mean, you have people that are unrealistic and not very rational, and you can't make it better for them because they're not rational. So most of them just want to be heard. You just try, and me, I like to talk a lot, so that was very difficult. And you don't have to always fix things. You just have to listen to them and tell them you hear them, and you just be honest with them, saying, I hear you, but I cannot fix this. Here's some things I think that can help, but most of these things you have to do or your student has to do. It's not, something from this end that will make it better. And again, they're not always happy, but they appreciate you listening to them. And again, that's I kind of equate it back to my first statement about supportiveness of the community, Marine City. One parent in the 5 years I was there, and I coached 3 sports for 5 years. That's, to me, that's unbelievable. And that it's just a minority. Unfortunately, we're human beings. That's what we remember. Those times where that were difficult and people were crazy and all that. And you kind of remember those times, and so educators seem to talk about that. But it's really not the majority. Majority of people are great people. Everybody wants the same thing. They want their kids to be successful. They have different avenues they think on how to achieve that best, and that's when you have a discussion. So. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, Rob. Sorry, did I?
No, you did. Absolutely. I mean, I thought, you did a great job. I mean, obviously there's positives in both, and you were able to see that transition and then embrace that transition. And, to add on to that, you said you worked with some unbelievable people in Marine City and some great athletes. And just on this group here, we have 2 collegiate athletes and 1 Detroit Tiger baby, 1 Detroit Tiger. And, kind of talk about like some of the athletes that you worked at, because you're right. We had so many more athletes that are not in this group, but talk about some of those special athletes like a Randy Jones or the Dubays or, some of those.
Yeah. Yeah, in that class, and forgive me, I'm old and my memory is probably not the greatest.
That's why I'm here for you, Coach.
Yeah.
So please correct me, Fred, if I get mixed up here. But yeah, with in the class above you guys, you had Randy Jones and Dale Volker and Darren Brooks and
Dale Volker.
the Dubays. I'm sorry, Timmy, what'd you say?
Dale Volker. Remember
Dale Volker. Did I say Dale?
He said, say, come on, pay attention.
Oh, okay.
He had too many hits to the head as a football star.
Yeah.
That's the problem with him.
Bill Endred.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing a lot of them.
The Gundersons. Remember the Gundersons?
Eric Gunderson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And not just good athletes, but had their heads on straight. They're kids and they make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but for the most part, they had good direction, good support. All the guys I worked with, and even in your class, I mean, you guys had phenomenal athletes in your class. Probably not as many as in the class above you, but still had a good core group, and you guys made me look good. So I can't say enough good things about all those people, because not only were they great athletes, very coachable, worked hard, but fun to be with. It's other people you'd want to hang out with, and I'm not the best coach in the world. I'll be the first one to admit it. I mean, so I had some strengths, and I enjoyed what I did. And to me, kids that are involved in athletics are there because, for the most part, there's some exceptions, they want to be there, so they're intrinsically motivated. Motivation was not difficult for you guys in athletics and stuff, and it could you can carry over music, academics, whatever their passion is. So I saw my role as a educator to help them achieve that. If I saw well, this is something that you could work on that would help you achieve that goal, or this is something maybe you shouldn't be doing, that's the way I saw it, because the motivation is there. You don't hear any professional athletes say, "Oh, I hate playing football." Maybe when they're 45 years old, they might say that, but when they're doing it because they love it. I mean, you can't be that good. You can't excel in anything unless you really like it. That's what I think, anyway, or love it.
Yeah, but I can attest that our class was not very athletic, but they had a big heart. But the class that was above us, I will just say that 1986, our junior year, was probably one of the best years in sports for Marine City in the history of the school.
Oh, really? See, unfortunately, I don't follow Marine City sports. I'm sorry, I don't. But
right.
But they've won state championships in football and stuff. So
sure.
they've had some animals.
They're the Alabama of high school football, in the thumb of Michigan.
That's what Rob likes to say.
Yeah. I just think that I think
maybe they're the Georgia now. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Georgia.
But I look at it this way, where in our junior year, that senior class, I mean, you in football, you lose in the semifinals to Divine Child. Basketball, we win the district championship. Baseball, we win our second straight, not only win the league, but win our second straight district. And then, I mean, for that whole year, including summer ball, I was 19-1 pitching. And I lost the last game of the year against Kentucky down in Effingham, Illinois.
That's great.
And Tim continued his tear of batting .618 from his junior year, and continued that in the summer. And we talked to some of the guys like Dale Volker into, he wasn't going to play ball. He was I don't want to play. Talked him into playing, and he ended up going to, and we had an absolute ride. It was some great memories. But again, it was because of people like you, because in my lifetime, and I'm sure Timmy can attest to this, is I don't think that if you go through grade school, middle school, and high school, that there was a teacher other than yourself. There's nobody that compared to you as far as, sense of humor and wanting to learn from you, and to make you to make you proud of us. There was not, I don't think there was another teacher that was like that.
Well, that's very, very gracious of you to say, Fred. Thanks.
You're
Is
welcome.
that your just normal delivery? I mean, because you were known to be a little, you made it lighthearted in a classroom. Did you learn that from someone, or is that just your normal delivery, Coach?
Yeah, I think, I was probably more innate than anything. I always felt that you have to be yourself. Kids are smart. If you guys have had teachers that are phony and, not, just rolling with the punches, so to speak, and not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it's easy to see, if you're just yourself, you can get away with a lot of mistakes, and just be honest and be yourself. And again, my philosophy is, I thought kids would learn, whether kids or athletes, if they're enjoying it. Knowing if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying it, I see, Mike, I see you got guitars on the wall. I suspect you enjoy playing guitar.
I do.
And so you probably play quite a bit. If you did enjoy it, you wouldn't play very much. So it's the same thing in education, same thing in athletics. You have to have fun. And I think that's, one of the problems in today is so much pressure on kids early to specialize, and sometimes it's coming from them. I've got nephews and great nieces and nephews that play baseball year round or play basketball year round, and they still seem to enjoy it. Now, I don't know if I didn't enjoy that. I played 4 sports when I was in high school, and I like that. I don't know if I could have played baseball, 12 months out of the year and enjoyed it. And that's just me. Everybody's a little different, but I think it makes people more rounded. And Marine City was like that. And things have changed. I mean, society's different now, and athletics, high school athletics is certainly different. But so many people, Fred, Mike, Tim, you guys played more than one sport. You're involved in a lot of things, and I think that makes for a well-rounded person. Now you guys are what, in your late 20s right now, and you're well-rounded.
Yeah.
So, and you're still small though. You're, like I said, you're only like an inch and a quarter big.
Yeah, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary of being in our 20s, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And then some.
That is a funny thing, because
it's a crazy number.
When I see, like you guys, I still picture you as, sophomore, junior, senior in high school. So it's a weird thing. I mean, that's not, any former student I've had, you kind of put them back in that box, so to speak, or that time, I would say. So it takes a little adjusting to get used to it. And wait a minute, this kid's got 3 girls? What do you mean?
Well, it'd be no different with us. We're waiting for you to pull up in with the red bomber and wiping off your windshield with a towel because the defroster didn't work.
Nothing electrical worked on that car.
Oh, that car was an abomination. I'm like, here he comes.
He almost.
But then he graduated to a Jetta.
It almost seems like he was the teacher that I'm surprised you didn't one night show up at the circle and cruise with us.
It's I did get caught in that once, but I didn't know it was a circle at the time. I think maybe Fred or
it technically wasn't a circle.
It's not really a circle; it's more of a rectangle, to be honest.
Yeah.
This was after a game. I was staying at school doing something, and I remember getting in the car, and I wasn't paying attention. And I lived in St. Clair, so I went south for some reason. Maybe I wanted to check up on Fred or something. I don't know. But and I got caught. I go, what the heck? There's a traffic jam this time of night. What's going on here? And so I was in it a little bit, and then I think I told someone the next day, and they said, "Yeah, hey, Mr. Carlson, that's the idiot circle." I go, "Oh, well, that's the only time I've ever experienced it." So you guys have to share with me your experience.
Yeah, listen to him, Mike.
Maybe off air.
He had a 12-pack of Moosehead in the back. He had, he was swerving at people. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew.
Okay, hey Rob, you remind me of something with that moose head in the back.
Yeah.
Kind of on a tangent here, but you guys remember Steve Murray?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Is he still in? Is he still?
Oh yeah, he's around the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this Steve, he was a hunter, and he went up north hunting one time. And Timmy, you probably, maybe Fred, you remember this too. But he came back, and this after a weekend, it was basketball season. He said, "Mr. Carlson, you wouldn't believe what happened. I went up north hunting or snowmobiling. I don't know if he's even hunting, but he's coming back, and there's a deer on the side of the road. And so he stopped and picked it up, dead. And I thought, man, that's neat that he'll use it. It just goes to waste if he doesn't. So he put it in the back of his truck, and he said by the time he got home, it had like bloated. And I'm thinking, I go, Steve, I thought you saw this deer getting hit, and you
Right.
picked it up right there, but it could have been there for 2 days.
Yeah.
That reminded me when you said moose head in the bag. Sorry.
Nasty. Ooh.
Yeah. Not very SMRT.
Not very.
He was
Well, he
good.
was part of the idiot circle too. So
Well, not
Oh,
to
yeah.
mention the fact that Coach, he is also a lifesaver because he was driving south and I sped up with a couple people in the car and getting his attention, and all of a sudden he looks at us and all of a sudden he's like like this, and I'm like, what? And I looked. Oh, there was an old lady and man stopped right in front of me. I had to slam on the brakes and just miss from tail, hit him in the tail end of the car. And then
Right in
we're
front
all
of
laughing.
Sunrise.
Let's put it this
Sunrise.
way: it was
Right in front of it.
dusk, but you could make out Coach's face because it was as white as the wall back here.
Hey, all I remember is him going, "Look out!"
yeah.
It's stories like that I used to be very blonde. Now look at me. That's how I was.
Well,
very
at least
gray.
Well, at least 4 of the 5 of us have all of our hair.
I got
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, Timmy's got his hair.
Yeah, barely. It's hanging on like it's
hanging
it's
on
like,
for-
help me, don't let me go. Don't let me go.
Well, it's probably putting on that catcher's equipment, the helmet and stuff. It rubs it off a little bit.
Right,
Well, look-
I'm
look
glad.
at
you
that.
look pretty good.
Yeah, look
got
at
pretty good hair
It's a
up
little
there.
great.
look at
It's
that
really
head
great,
though.
Coach.
Jesus. I can't believe there's a baseball helmet that could fit that melon.
Well, you notice Rob and
5'8",
Fred
brother.
don't have any gray hair either. So
Yeah,
mine's
how's
a
that?
mine's a wig.
yeah, we could tell.
Yeah,
No,
that's
nobody would
amazing.
actually get their hair cut like that, Rob.
Yeah. It looks like you look like you had a date and they told you not to go in with a loaded gun.
Rob, if you-
Is that hair gel?
If you spiked your hair up a little bit, you'd look like Beaker on the Muppets.
I thought Max
love it.
Headroom a little
I
bit,
love it.
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
You look great.
he definitely
Coach,
has the
I
windy
got a
blow look.
I got a
Oh,
question for you. You ready?
Yeah,
You ready for
yes.
this one? All right. So, if you were to think about the times when you coached at Marine City, what sport did you enjoy more coaching? Football or baseball?
What about you coach basketball too?
And
And basketball, but I would say in the two that I would say, okay, so include basketball. Which sport did you enjoy more?
I enjoyed baseball more, and I can tell you why. Well, let me go back a little bit. If you ask me what I enjoyed playing the most, I'd say football. Football was the most enjoyable sport I played for me. Coaching baseball, because you had more control. Basketball, you say, hey, Mike, take the ball and do your thing. You had to play, but if you could run it, you ran it, that type of thing. And you didn't have as much control. Same thing with football, even less control. There's so many things going on at the same time. As a coach, you didn't have as much control. But baseball, you did. You can control what pitch was thrown. With what if the ball, offensively is going to swing at the ball, bunt, steal. What offensive or defensive plays you want to run. So you had a lot more control. Now, having said that, it's probably the sport I was least fitted for because it was much more cerebral. I was not that cerebral of a baseball coach. So, like Fred's dad knew. He knows more about baseball than I forgot. He is a big help, and he really made our team much better than if he wasn't there. So I really appreciate him. How's your dad doing, by the way, Fred? Where is he?
Yeah, lives in Florida permanently with his wife.
Is that
And
because of is it a legal situation? The laws after him up here?
yeah, probably. Probably.
They ran out of Altus for a while, and he moved
Yeah.
down to Florida.
No Altus down there.
Well, they had to move somewhere where they don't take can collections anymore.
Oh, well, please say hi to him for me when you.
I will. He has some health issues, but he's hanging in there.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives down. He lives in
Great man.
yeah, he lives in on the border of Hernando and Hudson County.
Okay, I know
in a golf community. So he's about 45, 50 minutes west of the Tampa airport.
Okay. And Rob, where are you living again? I don't know if you told me.
I live Sarasota, Bradenton area, right outside Anna Marie Island, if you know that area.
Yeah. No, I know that area. Yeah.
Great place.
Have you
Great
been?
place. Great place.
Yeah, you play
Marie Island,
baseball.
baby. Yeah, Bradenton, Florida is my spring training site, so it was great. So I was right down in there.
Yeah.
Loved
Still
it.
is Pirate City.
Great area.
Yeah.
And Timmy, your mom, how is she doing?
She's struggling with dementia. She's
Yeah,
to
I
the
know.
point where it's. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. So.
Yeah, she's struggling with dementia a little bit. So
Yeah.
she's. I mean, it's to the point where it's escalating. How about that? So it's we're getting to that point. So
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, say hi to her for me.
It's rough on everybody. Well, we're doing. I will.
And Jamie and your girl.
She's doing as best she can. So
okay.
Can you
Sorry,
believe
guys.
that? Can you believe that side?
Yeah, everybody's doing well. We're doing well. We appreciate
it. Yeah, Jamie is quite very. They make a good couple, I think. You know, I'm trying to be political here, Rob. Sorry.
Hey,
we're not political here.
He definitely outpunted the coverage, Coach.
I'll tell you the best line. I'll tell you the best line that I was ever told was by Larry Parrish, was one of my managers, and I think it was Lakeland. He said to me, well, I waved, and he's like, Mac, who's that? I said, well, that's my girlfriend. He looks at me. He says, are you paying her? I just started laughing at him. What are you talking about, LP? He goes, woman is way too pretty for you. That's all he said.
Like I said, Tim, you definitely outpunted the coverage.
Oh yeah, there is no question. You know, I always say this as a joke to my to all my friends is I don't know how I put up with her. They all look at me like, yeah, whatever, you know.
Yeah, right.
You know, so
yeah, I think
I've done well. She's provided a lot of things, and family, and she's my rock. So that's how I can look at it. So I cannot complain one bit.
Yeah. She's your rock, and you're definitely the moss.
Oh, there's no question.
Well, it could be lichen.
Yeah, that too. I forgot we got a biology teacher.
It could be. Yeah. You got to check to make sure.
Can you break down photosynthesis
think about
for
this,
us, Coach? Talk about
It's funny you say that, Rob, because I'm in a neighborhood with just about 14 homes here, and it's they're wooded lots, and so we don't have very many trick or treaters. Just we have about 8 kids now in the neighborhood that come around. Yeah, and I go out there with my candy, and I tell them, if you want some candy, you got to answer a question, and like okay, and I say, well, do you want a hard question or easy question? And one guy says, I'm in environmental school, which is a good school here. And I said, okay, name the 2 phases of photosynthesis. And he looks at me kind of funny. He goes, can I have an easy one? And then I asked his little sister, I said, what is your brother's last name? And she couldn't. Anyway, we have fun.
Oh, God.
Well, there's certain places you can't ask that because people won't know the answer.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't know the answer to the 2 stages, but I know chlorophyll is to do with photosynthesis, correct?
Yeah, chlorophyll is the molecules that convert sunlight into energy, basically.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
You forgot about the sunlight, Rob. I don't know how
I
you
knew
could.
that.
You're in Florida.
You know the
Christ.
the state that you live in, the Sunshine State, Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of that, when's the last time you guys saw sun in your end of the state? It's been like we had 15 minutes of it, I think, this whole month.
There was a couple days where it was pretty nice, actually.
Yeah,
It was sunny here in the UP tonight. Like today, it was sunny here in the UP.
Yeah.
I was up the snowmobiling. It's the sun today, so I can tell you.
The UP calls
today.
sunny like a dull gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, the sun was out.
It's more like Dorian
sun was
Gray.
out, but it's probably snowing now that I look outside.
Tim, I think that was the clouds reflecting off of the snow up there is what you saw. I don't think that was actually sun.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
we're doing good up here.
Yeah, so how was the snow today, Tim?
We got about 3 to 4 inches last night. We drove up and it snowed like all beats of hell. We got over. It was really weird because we drove up to Mackinac and it was raining, and we got over the Mackinac Bridge, and within like 3-4 minutes we got over the Mackinac Bridge, and snowflakes the size of Fred's head were falling.
Holy shit!
So
how did you see the road?
It was, we had to take our time, so it took us a little extra time. Then we ended up getting up here with a group and staying up till the wee hours of the morning. So it was a lot of fun. So
where are you?
Janie, we're just south of Paradise, near Strong's. It's like Eckerman, Michigan, and Strong's. So it's about 45 minutes northwest of the bridge.
Nowhere.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if you know, my first year of schooling was in Michigan Tech, way up there.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so you're way up there, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember
The Great
going
UP,
back to
they
school.
call
Say it again, Tim, I'm sorry.
They call it the Great UP. The Great UP.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I loved it. I mean, we
Beautiful,
did rappelling down frozen waterfalls, and we used to take the Saga, the food service trays, and go up on the hill, on really a mountain, a small mountain, and slide down it on those food trays. So we had a good time. It was closest McDonald's was in Marquette. It was 90 miles away, so you didn't go to McDonald's very often.
No, it's funny because that's where my daughter graduated from Michigan Tech.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Neat.
Yep, she works for Stryker. She works for Stryker Medical right now.
Well, I tell you, fortunate we were fortunate when Jamie and we call it BC, but children. We rode all over the UP of Michigan for many years, and then we had the kids, and then it slowed down a little bit. Obviously, you raise kids, you have a family, but we're back. What we call touring the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, snowmobiling for a few more years, and then we may take an abrupt halt to that and maybe take on boating. We don't know yet, but we're having a lot of fun doing it up here with the people that we know. And the best part about it is you get to know a lot of people and the hotel owners, and they treat you so good, so you always come back up this way. So it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't boat up there in the winter, Tim. Just a tip. I didn't know if you knew that.
This year, maybe
it's a little chilly.
It's hard on the propel. The props probably get torn up a little bit, but you could sell the ice cubes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we could do that. We do some ice fishing and catch a lot of fish.
So how many miles of the snowmobile did you get in today?
They did about 60 or 70 miles today. It was 110. That's what Bill's.
And you're not going, right, Tim? You're staying on the couch, right?
He's staying on the couch. Talk about your knee, Tim.
Yep. Yeah. I was last 3-4 weeks. My knee had my good knee, as I call it, was bothering me, and I had it checked out with a former teammate at McConnell Community College, Tommy Perkins. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He basically told me that I have a broken leg. I said, "Oh, wonderful."
Wow.
I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Don't have no clue.
No brain, no pain.
Coach, he played so much sports. He's so banged up. He refers to things like my good tooth, my good finger, my good knee, his
weenie.
Yeah.
His right knee, his left knee, his weenie. Right, Mike.
So I was thinking about having it cut off, and so I could be like a duck and swim in a circle.
Or we could just rename you Eileen.
Yeah, that's right.
Eileen.
Or hey, you could when you retire, you could work at IHOP.
So, Timmy, you broke what bone in your leg?
He froze up.
Well, first of all, Coach, for him to remember that, he's got to do the whole song. Ain't the bones attached to the
Coach,
bone.
I think it was the tibula. It was the tibula.
Okay, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That he didn't know it.
I think that's what he's talking, because it's the lower part of the leg.
Well, Coach, it's no brain, no pain. You know that. I mean,
Well, he has been through the ringer, especially playing catcher. You guys know, man, that you get beat up. Oh,
Yeah.
Timmy's gone.
oh, he
He's
dropped.
gone.
He had enough. iPhone Tim is coming back.
We get that a lot from our guests, Coach. They just say, well, we've had enough
We're
of
done.
this shit, and they're gone.
He's got a broken tibia and now a broken phone. So
Yeah.
His screen must not be working.
Soon to
his
be a
camera.
broken heart.
Oh. Coincidentally, I got a call from Sandy Headley. You guys know Sandy
Yeah.
Clemente in the day. Just this morning, and she told me that one of her sons, Jacob, I believe. I don't know her son, but does she have Jacob? Is that the right name?
Oh yeah,
Fred?
she's got 5 of them.
Yeah, I know.
And they're all massive.
I throw any name out there, I got a chance of hitting one of them.
Right.
But she said Jacob is teaching in Marine City now, teaching biology, and in the room that I used to teach biology.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
what a
awesome.
coincidence. Yeah.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
God, he's got to keep the tradition up. First it was you, then it was Ron Glodich, and then now it's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good job. That's
Well,
awesome.
that room was kind of fun. If you guys remember, there's a T intersection right there. So I'd hang outside the room, and you'd have some scuffles now and then. I remember a few situations where it's just craziness. The two, I remember, I don't even know who these young women were, but they got out there kind of going into it pretty seriously. And I just got in between them and grabbed one by the shoulder. And she said, "Mr. Carlson, let me go. She's wearing the same sweater I have on." And she had the same sweater. I said, "Okay, I understand." Let her go. I did not let her go, but just crazy stuff.
That's a fighting offense for women, I guess. Same sweater. Who knew?
There's a little kid when you guys were seniors. He was a freshman, I believe. I don't remember his name, but he used to go around the hallway like he was driving a car, like he shit, boom, boom, and weaving in and out of people and stuff. And so he did that all the time. And I remember I went out there, I had a thing prepared, and I went out there and I pulled him over, and I can't remember his name. I said, "Scott, you know why I pulled you over?" He goes, "No, Mr. Carlson, it's because you were speeding." And I wrote him a speeding ticket. And I said, you can appeal this by going to the principal's office, or you can pay the fine of 2 brownies. And so I gave it to him. And the next day he brought me 2 brownies.
That's awesome. I remember right after lunch I had your class, I think in 10th grade, and I remember Dave Reagan came in drunk, and he had, yeah, God, and you're trying to say, "What's wrong, Dave?" And he couldn't even talk because he was so waxed, but his eye was all cut up because
I remember that,
because he went to slam his locker and he hit himself in the they cut himself wide open, and I mean I'm peeing myself. I'm like going, "Oh my God." Just dying laughing because I knew. I mean, he just reeked of it.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Should we change the names on these stories to protect the innocent? Or
no?
That's not our style, Rob. You know
Yeah,
that.
I just made up, so I'm sure that wasn't him. I don't think he would have been offended by that story. He's probably a professional race car driver right now.
He won a NASCAR series or something.
This was in Ionia, but and kind of piggybacking off your story, Fred. I was chaperoning a dance after a basketball game, and this guy, he was just plastered, a student. And we didn't have any breathalyzer tests or anything like that. I mean, you could smell it on the way he was acting. And so I called his dad, and his dad said, "No, he's not drunk. He's not drunk." And I go, "You got to be kidding me." And so I said, "Okay, let's go out to his car." And he was parked in a parking lot, and the elementary was right next to the high school. and he had a little like F-110 pickup,
Mhm.
you know, a small pickup. And
Like
we
a
went in
Ranger?
there, and I looked in his window, and there was a hose coming from the back into his cap. And he had a cap on his truck. And so I looked in the back of the cap, and he had a pony keg with a hose coming out there. And I said, "Okay, Dad, look at this." And Dad goes, "Yeah, I guess he was drunk." So just crazy.
What a great concept, though.
Smart kid.
Well, let me tell you, if that kid is still alive, which it's probably now a 50-50 chance on that, I want to party with that.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time, but yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
should have patented that. Now
Party
NASA,
ball.
so now that NASCAR uses it for them to drink their to keep from
electrolytes. Yeah.
yeah. So
Gatorade.
I went
maybe
to a-
maybe he invented it, and now he's part of NASCAR. Who
Right.
knows?
The
He's a millionaire.
Mountain Miss Blueberry Powerade.
Yeah.
On that story, Coach, my buddy here in Florida used to every year this huge Halloween party, and you had to get dressed up, and they gave like elaborate prizes for the best costume. So I went as Darth Vader one year, and I thought, well, how in the hell am I going to drink with this big helmet on? It was the helmet plus the whole, like it had the breathing device. So
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I got surgical tubing that I put up through the mask, and I would always just put it in my in the pocket of the thing with a beer. So I would constantly be sipping. People would say, "Talk to me," and it'd be breathing on me.
Oh, you probably did you ever go to Ionia High School?
Not saying.
Could be.
You left that out when you're talking about your bio and moving.
I
so
did.
Yeah.
I did.
I think
Yeah.
I'm back.
You're
Hey,
back.
yes,
Hey,
yes.
Tim.
I-
There he is.
Hey, welcome
That-
back. I want to tell you my first football coaching experience. It's Lance Cruz. And again, I just got the head job, 27-year-old guy, didn't really know what the heck he's doing. And I
Moment of
wasn't,
Lancers.
yes, and I wasn't a really offensive-minded individual. Defense, that's what I played in college and what I really loved. But Jerry Workentine, you know, anyway, and I'm calling, and I wrote down all the offensive plays that I wanted to use, you know, on like a little cheat sheet or whatever. And you guys remember Eric Miller, right?
Oh
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric was our backup quarterback. Billy Recor was quarterback, and I said, Eric, you hang with me. You stay right next to me. Don't let me do anything stupid. You know, you help me out here. And Eric's a great guy. And
good character.
so I'm going through this whole game. I think we won by less than one touchdown. And we won in spite of me, really, because I didn't know what that guy was doing. I was calling plays, and near the end of the fourth quarter, like middle of fourth quarter, Eric could see I was getting a little frustrated. Like I didn't know, you know, I'm confused or frustrated or whatever. He goes, "Hey, Mr. Carlson, remember you wrote down all the plays?" And I never looked at that sheet the whole stinking game that I wrote down. And Jerry Workentine, Coach Workentine, came up to me after the game and said, he was so happy and congratulated me. He says, you know what, Tim? I wouldn't have called all the offensive plays you called. I wouldn't have called any of those at the same time I called them. So, but we won, so that's what counted, I guess. But that was my baptism into offensive play calling.
Nice.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. But we always remember this one. Okay,
Great
here's the indicator, and we're going double elbows for the hit and run.
That's right. Double elbows. Still remember it.
Yep. Sweep.
I used it.
Yep. Sweep the foot for on the out in front of you for the suicide squeeze. That and the choke, the hand underneath the chin. So
Hey,
skin on skin for steel.
before I get cut off again, bad signal. I gotta tell you two of my greatest stories of Coach Carlson. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You want me to
You
leave?
got me?
You want him to leave?
No. Two of my greatest memories. One, I finally get to play varsity baseball, and I got thrown out of the first varsity practice. You remember that, TC?
I do not
You
remember
threw me
that.
out of practice.
Out of
Honest
practice.
story. You did. You were like, yeah, out of practice. I come into practice. I did something. I thought, yeah, it's gonna be a great year, whatever. I had to have an attitude adjustment, so he threw me out of practice, and he said, if I recall right, he said, until you stink and figure out how you want to be a leader, get in there. That's all he told me. One of the best.
You know,
One
the
of the
real
best. What-
the real
if I-
thing of that story is what you did. Why are you leaving out the real part?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I-
What did you do?
I was an idiot. I was doing something stupid. You know that. So, but
I'm
he
guessing
threw me
he's
out of
picking on
practice.
Fred, and I think
No.
probably what I really said to Timmy is, Timmy, get out of here, go get me a Big Mac.
And my
Oh, here we go with
one
the
of my-
Big Mac stories. Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah,
Here they're
one of
coming.
my best all-time memories of Coach Carlson was when he came in when I was in at Marietta College, and he came over to Battle Creek and watched us play in the World Series. That was awesome. You remember that, Coach?
Oh, I certainly remember that. Yeah, that was awesome for me. That was really
Yeah.
neat. Yeah,
that was
a good-
that was a lot of fun. I had my family and everybody over there, and you get a good you get to see your coach come watch you playing college baseball. It was a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
I
it was
appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. You were great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred and
That's too
Timmy, do you guys remember?
fun.
I'm trying to remember this. I don't know the whole story, but I think it was either your junior year or your senior year, coming back on the bus after that last game of the season, lost in the districts or lost in the regionals. I can't remember which year it was. And I was, you guys were kind of melancholy and sad that we didn't win, obviously, but so it was pretty quiet on the bus. And
Fred was crying.
Fred was crying.
he might, I don't know, he might have been. I didn't notice. But it was we bus pulled into Marine City, and I kind of got your attention. I got everybody's attention. I said, all right, you guys, I just want you to remember one thing. And then they had something stupid, like you made a circle thing.
Yeah.
That was over your shoulder. That was over your shoulder, Coach.
Yeah.
He gets hit.
Yeah, over your shoulder.
Over
Yeah,
his
okay,
shoulder.
so do you guys remember me doing that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was big. So that was definitely our junior year when we
Okay, junior year.
when we lost to Flint Ainsworth.
Okay, what was that thing? Rob, explain it to me. What is that?
Circle.
So
It's a circle
our thing
game.
was like, if you got the guy to look at, and I'm not going to go over my shoulder. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
he's gonna stand up.
So if you get someone to look at that, then you get to punch him in the shoulder. But if they could get their finger inside the circle before
They get to punch you.
they
You
get to
punch
punch
them.
you.
Yeah.
But
See,
if it was over your shoulder, you got to hit them.
Okay, I never knew the
definitely.
whole story. Thanks. I just remember you guys doing that a lot, and I thought this would be a good way to end this season. Because they thought I was really serious. They probably thought I was going to say something semi-philosophical, and that's what I did. So.
Coach, we still do that. We still do it.
Do you really?
I sent a picture. Fred and I went out for New Year's with, and we got a picture. My wife, his girlfriend, the four of us were all doing, and I sent it to all these guys, and got them.
Yeah, I
No
got
way.
it.
Well, that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I've been around a lot of places, and that's the only place I've ever seen that. So that's a very colloquial little thing you got going on there in Marine City area.
We also did the flinching. There was two forms of flinching,
Yeah.
which is one, you
Two
grab
for
the
flinching.
back of their
Two for flinching.
grab the back of their arm, and if they flinch, you get to twist the back of their arm. So
Yeah.
we all had like calluses on the back of our arm. It hurt like hell.
I go,
And
man,
then
Bruises and
those guys from Marine City got the toughest triceps we've ever seen. Look at those guys.
and we used to do the flinching, try to hit each, act like you're gonna hit somebody in the nuts. And if they flinch, you get to punch them. So we were pretty violent.
Two for flinching.
Well, you guys
Oh, yeah.
kept each other on your toes. Obviously, it sounds like. Huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember
Lots of
my last at bat as a second to last at bat in my high school career. and I hit one in Marysville in the gap. And of course, I wasn't what you consider a speed demon, but I did my best. And,
You're
and
fast.
coach holds his hands up like this, and I just run, and he's telling me this. He's telling me to slide, and I didn't, and I was safe. And he had his hands out, and I hit him like that. He goes, "You jerk!" And he just shook it. He just shook his head. "You jerk."
So you admit you weren't a speed demon?
Never claimed to be at all.
Yes, because 3 years ago behind Kevin Mon's garage, you were trying to tell them you were a 4.2. You ran a 4.2.
I never did. You're on.
Oh, bullshit.
Well, we had to get Kevin. We had to get Kevin on.
I could be as drunk as a guy that was at
as he was last night.
You were as sober as a church nun.
Yeah, right.
Okay, wait a minute, Rob.
Wait a minute. That's not always that sober. Let's clarify.
Is that 4 hours and 20 minutes?
Just so I understand, Fred said he could run a 4.2, but he might have been talking 20 yards.
Well, he might have been talking 10 yards, but
no, I'm just talking getting off the starting line. What are you talking about?
Fred was deceptively fast. He was fast. He could hold his own. He wasn't faster than me though, were you, Fred?
No, but in 9th grade, I beat you in one-on-one basketball when we
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, that was great. He went up for a layup, and I pinned the ball up against the backboard. And he's like, "How the hell did that just happen?" I actually even shocked the shit out of myself. But that was great when we used to play the one-on-ones, and you were eliminated. In the last game you had to play against was you. Those were fun.
How many teachers do that now? I mean,
they don't play ball anymore.
I don't know. We're not in school, but
Zero.
that's a cool thing to
Zero.
do. Yeah.
Because before we even had practice on Fridays, we'd split the gym in half, and the teachers would be on one side, and we'd be warming up on the other. And coach would, "Hey, Fred, come here. Yeah, we need an extra player."
Yeah.
And then
we used to
like
play
Steve
against the teachers too.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, Steve Dunker and Larry Rombach and
Bill
Amiel
still plays.
Mr. Babowski.
Yeah,
Yeah, Babowski still plays.
Does he really?
He still plays.
I always had to guard
Jerry
him.
Warkentin's a good ball player. Yeah,
Jay was a great athlete.
Yeah, you played on my dad's rec team for a cup of coffee there.
Yeah, I did
won a lot of games.
They needed kind of a
fill in.
Yeah, well,
a Bob Probert.
Someone to bring, someone to carry the water and stuff. That's what they need.
Yeah, okay.
You need a guy to set some picks. That's all you got to say. I was there to set some picks.
Yeah, well, it's hard to do from the bench. I did it I could.
But you were the best at it.
I was. There's no one better on that team, that's for sure, than setting bench picks.
Classic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What other hobbies do you have now? Like you're retired. What do? You golf? You fish?
I golf very rarely. Well, I probably haven't golfed in 3 years. So I was never a good golfer. I used to keep score by counting how many balls I lost. That would be my score.
Yeah.
But no, I'm an avid woodworker. In fact, I made the desk I'm at now and some of the furniture in here. And yeah, I make a lot of furniture and turn bowls and so if you ever want anything, I just do it for fun. I've sold a few things, but I don't enjoy that. I just have a big family and friends that I make stuff for. But so I do that. That's what I spend most of my time with, really, is woodworking. And I have filled in, even though I've been retired, I filled in for schools that need an administrator for part-time. So I've done that too in the last few years. But I never look for the jobs. They come to me. So but yeah, mainly we travel a lot. Carol and I love to travel, so we've been all over the place, and so that's mainly what I do. And I do like to go watch my nieces and nephews perform in either theater or athletics. So I do that a lot.
You'd be surprised to know that Marine City has a theater in town with two stages actually, and they're actually pretty good.
For live performances?
Performances.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, they didn't have that when I was there.
No.
They didn't have anything in that town.
Yeah, they have a theater right about two doors to the south of like where Gar's Lounge was. And then one is the old bank. The old
Bank.
The old
Michigan
bank on
National
the
Bank.
Michigan National Bank, just right over by where the Apple Corps and the dime store was back in the day.
Oh, that's neat. And they have a lot of acts, a lot of
They do.
performers.
Yeah, and I've traveled all over, seen acts, live performance all over the world. I like it, and they actually they bring in act. It's not community theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
That's
Which
neat
goes
that
to
they.
my next question, Mr. Carlson. We always talk about the Idiot Circle. We're going to take a summer weekend one day and have a
reunion,
a nostalgic cruise night with the Idiot Circle.
Oh.
If we do that, would you come over and be a part of it?
Oh, sure. I would set picks on the bench for you guys.
We'll take
No,
it.
that'd be great. Actually,
I think he should be the grand marshal of the first annual.
Yeah.
you can sit on my balcony and watch the whole thing. I
Yeah.
moved from one end of the Idiot Circle to the other end of the Idiot Circle.
no kidding.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I live right on the Idiot Circle.
Is it still a thing? Do kids still
No.
do that?
No.
No, not too much. Not too much.
Did they crack down on it?
We all do.
Oh, they
when
did-
we
they
go
did-
when
yeah.
we go through town, it doesn't. I live here right on the Idiot Circle. It doesn't matter. I'll go and do a lap before I go into my
We all
driveway.
do. We all do. Yeah.
We all do.
That's fun. That's
Matter of
funny.
fact, I got a Facebook message from Bill Endress the other day, and he goes, "You know what would be cool is if people that watch your show cruise their own Idiot Circle and film it and sit, and talk during it. If they went, if it's from Marine City or
Yeah.
former
Yeah.
Marines." I thought it was a great idea, and I just told him, I said, "Well, you better be cruising your Idiot Circle with the windows down, jamming Wango Tango by Ted Nugent, because that was
There you
your
go.
jam, buddy."
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Hey,
Yeah,
Sister Christian,
Yeah,
tears down your eye.
Oh, gee.
that's great.
yeah. And I know
was
you're
in it-
gay. And I know you're gay. When you're jamming Sister Christian in the Idiot Circle.
Oh, come on. You were
Yeah, there you
too,
go.
Fred. Come on.
If you guys ever want to take this satellite and go off the Idiot Circle to do the Idiot Circle show, we've got a nice cottage on Crystal Lake in southeast or southwest of Traverse City. You're welcome to come and do it there anytime.
Wow.
That would be
You can-
awesome.
You can do it on the pond. We can do the Idiot Circle around the lake. It's about
That
8.5
That'd
mile.
be awesome. That'd be
that's
awesome.
a night. That's the ultimate
I'm
Idiot
in.
Circle right there. I'm in.
I'm in.
Well, Fred, you set it up. I'm game anytime.
Fred
I'm
is
in.
our
You in,
social
Tim?
director. Fred is our social director.
Yeah, I'm like Julie from Love Boat,
I think you just died.
except
boys.
except the
I'm in.
male version.
I got hey, you gotta remember I got is time right now with my time off from my knee work. So whatever, let's do it, boys.
Well, we can't do it in the winter, Tim. I mean, we talked
Yeah, you
about this
dipshit.
already.
Yeah,
Boating in the winter
Yeah.
doesn't
Well,
work.
no, I think maybe Carlson only
uh.
invited us for the winter. He doesn't want us there in prime time.
Oh.
So.
No, you can come.
Yeah.
You can come anytime. I'd love to have you guys up there if you ever want to do that. That'd be great.
Oh God, that would be phenomenal.
It'll be a lot of
Hey,
fun.
Mike,
A lot
what kind of
fun. A lot
comments do you
fun.
think we'll get about this show? I mean, we average about 1-2 comments every show on Facebook. What kind of comments do you think we'll get? Because we had Mr. C on the.
I'm hoping we get some memories that people have, of Mr. Carlson at Marine City.
And
that
what
would be
should
awesome.
we name the show? What should we name the show?
I don't know.
Like,
We have to think about
Mike.
that. One.
Mike always
Head of the
like-
class.
How about bench picker?
There you Yes, I like that. I like that. That's classic.
Yeah,
No, well, that's I
the king of
really-
the king of the toadstools.
Yeah,
Or the slick taters.
It's
Woo-hoo-hoo, slick
funny
Some
that-
taters.
guy sitting on the bench with
The
like,
finsters, the
Yeah,
king of the
king of the
the king of
finsters.
the finsters, the finsters.
So,
Defense
Mr.
team.
Carlson, the other day I was talking to Rob
That's right.
when you were coming, because you were coming on the show, and I was telling him that one time on a biology test, I was actually one of the answers. My name was one of the answers on the biology test. It was like the last answer, the second. I don't remember what the question was, but I remember the second to last question was, who was the leader of the band? And it was multiple choice. And of course, the answer was Mickey Mouse. But And then somehow I don't remember what the question was, but I was the answer on the test. And I thought I get to the last question, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what? This can't be. I thought you did a test just for me and put my name on there, but then everybody after class was saying they all had that as an answer on their test. So I knew it wasn't just me. I thought you were punking me with just an answer about me.
Do you remember what the question was? Like, who dresses like Motley Crue and walks around the halls of Marine City? Is that the question?
That might be a good way to initiate responses. Who knows the question to that answer?
Yeah,
I certainly, Mike, don't remember. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember the question either.
So, Coach, I don't know if you know this, but Mike was supposed to be on the National Honor Society, and he was told that he couldn't because of the way he looked.
Really?
And yes.
True.
And if you remember back in the day when Mr. Chamberlain had that ungodly gross beard that he had on his face, that was out of protest because Mike wasn't allowed on National Honor Society.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's just crazy.
Yep.
They had a mandatory meeting about the National Honor Society, and Mrs. Drews was the teacher, the sponsor or whatever,
right?
The teacher representative, and she started talking about it, and she read off the names, and my name wasn't on the list. So Mr. Chamberlain stood up and said something about it, and Mr. Harvey, Mr. Cavus, and Mrs. Christie all walked out of the meeting. And
well, good for them.
Yeah. So they were pissed about it.
Well, they should have been. No, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I was, I don't remember you looking. So what was specifically they were upset about or thinking you didn't fit the mode? I don't understand.
I think it was Mrs. Drews didn't like me.
It was she. Yeah. Yeah. And not to mention the fact that he had the long hair
and earrings and stuff
and
like
all that
that.
stuff. But yet he finished. He was a top 10 student in the school.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
So recently I contacted Marine City High School and talked to the National Honor Society teacher and asked if there was a way that we could do an honorary National Honor Society thing for Mike for being screwed over. Yes, I did. She was all for it. She thought it was awesome that I was looking into that. She went to Sherry Becker, and because they don't have the records to prove that he had the grades.
Why don't they have the records?
Yeah, why don't they have the records?
at the school. So I don't know where they would be. I said, well, that's, he goes, you're talking 30 some years ago. I'm like, well, I said, well, then I'm just going to have one cricketed up and made and put it on there because
there you go.
Because it's bullshit.
Well, I think we should do that, Fred, and we should present it to him during the Idiot Circle reunion.
It's better than getting the key to the city.
That's right. Mike, do you have your old report cards by chance?
I probably do because my mom saved all that stuff. I have presidential scholastic awards and all kinds of stuff. All my spelling bee medals I still had. I don't know where they're at. I'm sure I have them somewhere, but my mom saved all that stuff.
If that would help Fred in his endeavor, I don't know. It might be worth your while to hunt it up.
I guess
that's the first I heard of it. So
well, I never told you because I didn't want you to go, what the hell, Fred? What are you even thinking about doing that for? Because
that's exactly what I would have said.
I know, but the thing is you deserve it. But I'm one, and Coach knows this. I'm a guy that even when I was a captain and he and I had some disagreements when he and I went into the coach's office and I blew a gasket sticking up for somebody, and then that guy ended up screwing me and making me look like a turd.
Sorry about that, Fred.
Don't talk about Timmy that way, Fred.
He's on the call, Fred.
But and my dad, of course, was not happy with me, and I'm like, well, what is a captain supposed to do? I mean, blah 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 blah, and then the kid ended up screwing me, and then I had to walk in the office and say, No, I guess you were right.
That happened once in a while.
Fred
Yeah.
is a resident. How do you put this? He's very sensitive, and a lot in our first 20 episodes, our thing was trying to get him to cry because we thought it was better for our ratings. Since then, we just have stopped doing that, and I guess we saw the idiocy of that. So, but
It's like this, Rob. You throw the bait out and you try to reel them in.
yeah. We should try to get him in the moments like we talk about the past or something, and then get a little teary-eyed.
Try to get them all choked up.
Yeah, we try to get them all choked up.
So
Well,
it happened. So it happened one time on the show, and then Rob, that was like blood in the water, and that bastard down in the corner there is
Blood in the water.
Yeah, it's the shark circling. You know,
But in the
love
same
it.
breath, he is the guy, right? Because of that, how he is, he would go to battle for his friend,
Right.
reach out, and that's very very commendable.
It's a great attribute to have, no question
Yes,
about it.
absolutely.
And as long as you can take a little ridiculing from your really close friends, what the heck?
we all can. That's how this is basically how this show kind of started.
Yeah,
But,
I'm curious about that.
Yeah. So here's a funny story that you were a part of, and of course Timmy and I got in trouble for it. We lured Coach into the locker room, and we made the freshman rip his underwear up over his shoulder.
Oh God!
Yes. Yep. And we tackled him, and they friggin' yanked as hard as they could. It was Rob Wesley and George Stevenson, and they pulled that shit all the way up to his ears, and he was so
He was mad
pissed at us.
He's mad.
And just pissed. But there is a better story than that, and Rob's going to tell it right now. What happened in the locker room that you and Timmy did to a certain person. This is when we were out at practice, and they were with Bill Duro on the JV.
Yeah, we were on the JV.
So this is classic. You got wait to hear this.
We've talked about this story before, though, haven't we, on the show?
Not to Coach, we haven't.
No, not
So
I'm intrigued.
Remember, the team locker room was a big square, right? You had lockers in the middle and the benches, and my locker was on the other side, and I was standing on the bench, and Timmy and Eric Germo were on the other side, and Eric Germo was getting ready to go into the showers, and me and Timmy took remember the big white bottle of the pink canned heat, the stuff, and I don't know. I say it was Timmy, and I think Timmy says it was me. Got a big scoop. We slathered it in his underwear. I mean, I don't know when he picked up his underwear, Coach. It had to be like 3 pounds heavier when he dropped it off. I don't know how he didn't know it. And I'm standing on the other side looking over, and Timmy's sitting there looking at him, and he smells this underwear up on his ass. And next thing you know, he's like. He looks over at me, looking at him, and he goes, "Straight, I'm gonna fucking kill you." And he ran into the fucking shower. And like 10 minutes later, when we're walking out, he's still in the shower with his butt cheek spread with the water.
He goes, but he said, he goes, "Straight, you asshole." He goes, "It's not on my balls, it's in my asshole."
Yes, that's what he said.
And he goes sprinting into the dam.
That was hilarious.
And that's the other thing we used to do is when Coach was in the shower, we used to flush the toilets and have hot water. You'll say, "Hey, you."
I do remember that. You can't do that anymore.
Remember how hot they used to get?
Right, no kidding, right?
I would have been arrested, right?
Yeah. You could have been hazing.
Yeah, hazing. We would have been expelled for sure.
Like Fred alluded to earlier. I mean, I remember giving kids rides home. Females, males. It didn't matter if they needed a ride home. I mean, and I knew. It only takes one person to say, "Hey, Mr. Carlson did this," their word against yours, and you're sunk. You're in trouble. But I kind of felt if you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's the way it should be anyway. It should
Fred,
still be the
story,
case.
because I think he was asking, how did this get started? You want to tell the story about
how did the idiot? I mean, not the idiot circle, the program, the idiot circle.
Right. So, what happened is I was meeting Mike and Rob down in St. Clair. They had an outdoor winter concert, and it was a band that Robbie really likes. He's got a man crush on the lead singer. So we go down there and we go down there to watch this band play, and we have a few beers, and then we went as soon as they were done. We went inside at Warwater in St. Clair, and we just started talking and having a few more beers and started talking about the transfer portal. And what we started arguing back and forth about how
Shocker, right?
like how I don't like it, why I like it, just going back and forth. And finally, we got to the point where I said to you guys, hey, what we should do is why don't we just do a web show or a podcast? And Mike goes, I'm game for it. And Rob goes, I'll do it. Next day was the
We
beginning
started
of
it.
was
No
the
kidding. And how long ago was that?
This
Tuesday,
is the
last Tuesday.
yeah.
This is our 47th episode.
Man,
Yeah.
you guys have crammed in a lot of episodes in 3 days.
Yeah, we
do one
don't
every
sleep.
Well, that's what happens when you're laid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't sleep.
So this is the
Oh.
47th, you said, and you do what?
47. Yeah,
Yep.
we do one a week typically. Yep.
We've
Okay,
missed
yeah.
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Though. There's been a couple weeks we missed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat that you guys do that. That
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You get different guests on, obviously, at different times.
Yep. And we had another teacher on, did we not?
Did we have another?
Well, we've had all the coaches on. We had
Yeah,
Gordon
well, yeah.
on. We had
Uh,
the current coach, Marine City coach.
yeah,
We had
Darren.
the Claus Lex coach. We've had your buddy, the Ohio State quarterback.
Right.
Wow.
Me twice, Coach. I was on twice.
Yeah.
Man,
Twice.
is that-
Back to back
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah,
Is
we
that a
felt
record?
sorry for him. So
Look, I'd like to pose this. I want to pose something to our listening audience. So
All three of you.
Timmy, I mean, back in the day, the four of us here at some point. Well, I didn't really hang out much with Mike. Fred's my cousin, so I hung out with Fred, and Timmy and I hung out, and then Mike did the same, but it never crossed over. But the four of us hung out a lot. I think Tim should be a full member of the Idiot Circle. And I think we should go to the polls to see if people want to bring in Tim full time. Now, Tim may say, I don't want to be full time with this shit because it's just horrible. It's embarrassing. Nobody watches. And the few people watch say, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. So you got that card, Tim. But I still think Tim should be a member of the Idiot Circle because
he wasn't there that night, so he can't be.
I vote for him.
He wasn't there that night.
I vote for him.
And what Fred is missing in that story, Mr. Carlson, is he kept saying to me, let's do a podcast. Let's do a podcast. And I kept saying, yes, let's do it. I'd love to do it. I'm one of the biggest procrastinators on the planet.
He's still trying to brew some beer too.
Yeah, exactly. So when we got into discussion at Warwater, we have an IT guy, right? A guy that owns his own IT company. And he's like, well, he goes, what was the problem? I'm like, I don't know. We couldn't figure out how to put this together where we could do this like this. He's like, I could do that in a breeze. I'll put the invites together. You guys just show up. And that's how it started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat, you guys.
Yeah.
And I think that to solve your problem with Timmy, you could acquire him off the transfer
portal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
Timmy,
idea.
did you go to Central Michigan?
Fuck you.
Central.
Central Michigan.
Yeah,
And
kiss
the
my ass.
backstory of that one, Mr. Carlson, is in that argument about the transfer portal, Mike and our theory was it's going to spread the wealth of college football, right? A bunch of guys that have nothing to do with college football trying to solve the problems of college football, right? In a bar in a small Midwestern town in Michigan, right? Is that story told over and over and over through, right? So we're sitting there and we're saying it's spreading the wealth of college football. It's going to take like Alabama's not going to be as dominant in the next couple of years because it's spreading. And Fred, of course, we might have had a few cocktails.
You guys
night.
did. I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, you just came off of your episode.
Right.
Yeah. So Fred and I might have had a few cocktails. And Fred would sit there and go, he kept just referencing, he's like, it's not going to spread the wealth. Central Michigan. He just kept saying that, and so it's like
I used Central Michigan because they have the running back Lou Nichols, and and the NIL and all this stuff that's going on in the transfer portal. He has a couple good years. The next thing he transfers to a bigger university to get seen more. That was all. I was just using one example. I didn't use any other examples, but that of course they. It's ingrained in their mind right now, and that's all they can think of. So,
well, I think a good example of what you're saying, Rob, is look at Colorado now with Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
he's made them relevant with the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Mel
Tucker
Mel Tucker did for a year.
Yeah. It is interesting. I don't know what I feel about it personally, but it certainly has changed things. It's I'm still old school. I liked guys playing football because they wanted to, not because there's money involved. And I understand the other side of it, and I think they should get paid actually. But I didn't like it in the Olympics when they started letting professional athletes perform in the Olympics. That bothered me. So
we're all in lockstep there because you've taken the purity of college sports and turned it into a minor league system for the professional leagues.
Well, and people would argue that it's it's a big business already. So you're fooling yourself if you don't. So,
right.
But yeah, I agree, Fred. It has changed it, but
Did we lose Timmy?
No. I'm waiting for a potato to sit there, so he's a couch potato. That's a better view. I mean,
wait, let me.
The couch is gonna talk more than he did tonight.
You suggested he be a full-time member, and he bailed.
To the Indian Circle, I'd like to rescind my last comment about Tim being a full-time.
I second that notion.
Well, to Timmy's defense, he's probably off camera breaking a leg or something.
Yeah.
Timmy, you can't just get up and walk away in the middle of the program.
He had to go to the bathroom.
Hey, Tim, you didn't have to say that where you went. You could just say, "Hey, I had to go sharpen my skates."
Wait. As you all know, as you get older, you have to, when the bathroom calls, you have to.
Well, hey, Timmy, Timmy, you realize that
it is what it is.
You just committed a felony, right?
Oh God, here we go.
You just had a grown man holding a little kid's penis.
I did. I apologize. Amen.
I knew that was.
Amen to that.
Man, I didn't know.
I respect
Fred,
that.
I didn't know you got your law degree. That's pretty impressive too.
Yep.
Coach,
here comes the judge.
Can't even spell law.
Coach, as you can see, the program is very sophomoric. Some of us have not matured since.
Sophomoric. I was thinking more ninth grade.
I was thinking more freshman.
8th grade. Very middle school-esque.
As the evening progressed, the topics have degressed. That's definitely
you've identified our show.
There's a correlation there. We'll have to map that out. We'll have to go back and look at all the episodes and see if that's the case.
Right. So, Coach, I was reading scripture the other day, and no.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So
you're a good Catholic guy. I know you do.
Well, not as good as the guy down at the bottom of the screen there, the czar.
Oh, did you know I was the czar of the program? Can you read that? It's
okay. I did not know that, but I'm a little confused. You said at the bottom of the screen. On my screen, Rob is top right.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
mine
on
too.
mine.
Mine too.
Well, he's down at the
I'm
bottom.
the czar.
Okay. Good to know.
Which is ironic because he's always talking about socialism and stuff and communism, and he happens to be the czar.
Yeah, I call him the bizarre.
Yeah,
he's bizarre. Bizarre.
Very bizarre.
It's that old adage about men or young youth and nicknames. You can't coin yourself your own nickname, right? That's not allowed. Right. And I did do that.
Yeah.
But I only refer to myself as the czar. And then a couple of years ago, I said, well, I'm now going to refer to myself as the man formerly known as czar.
Yeah, it's going to be a symbol.
Yeah, it'll be just a symbol.
Yeah, like Prince.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So speaking of kids and being very, being young, Ethan, you got to be pretty proud of him. A graduate of Northwestern.
Wow.
Yeah, Ethan he's a great guy. He excellent student. he majored in theater and minored in psychology, just so he wants to act. That's what he wants to do. He loves
Right.
acting. He's been fortunate to be in some theater in Chicago, so we go down there frequently and watch him.
Yeah.
The job that pays the bills, he works in the Science and Industry Museum, and he really enjoys that. So
Nice. Fantastic.
yeah, we enjoy that. But thanks for asking, Fred. I want to find out about your kids more too, but I don't know how much time we have in the show. And I also want Mike to play some guitar one of these days.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For
Seriously.
sure. Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to see, hopefully at some point you'll be able to see the band play.
Oh, now band, are you guys all in a band together?
Well, not all of us.
just Fred and I.
And just any other members besides you two?
Yeah, we have two other members. Well, technically three, but one never shows up. So.
Okay. Does he break bones and stuff once in a while?
Yeah. Oh, we think that's what the problem is.
Yes.
Well, you bring your band up to the cottage.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at a
It's
minimum, I'll bring a guitar and Fred will bring his voice.
Perfect.
Yep.
Oh, I'd love that. I love
Yeah.
or even on
Speaking
the
of
show.
this, what songs are you
It's a
guys
lot of fun.
working on lately? What do you guys
Definitely got to do it.
Well, let me answer Coach real quick. I have two daughters. One is engaged to be married, and she will be married in September to her boyfriend or her fiance.
Now, where do they live, Fred?
They just looked at a house in Howell,
Okay.
and she works at Stryker Medical in Lansing, and he works at Ford in Dearborn.
Okay.
And
So halfway.
she and he and Eric and Taylor were boyfriend girlfriend in high school from their freshman summer all the way until they got engaged just during the summer here.
Oh wow, neat.
Yep, and they're doing real well. My youngest is a sophomore at Michigan State, and she is studying packaging engineering.
Oh wow, that's funny. My neighbor, when I grew up in Bath, got Jack Bray. He got his degree in packaging engineer at Michigan State, then Western. He got his master's. Just coincidence. Sorry.
Well, the packaging engineering programs number one in the country behind Clemson. She got accepted to both schools, but she chose Michigan State because that's where she really wanted to go.
Oh, nice.
But, so I thought that was cool. And for me, I live in Marysville, and I'm dating a girl originally from Marine City who graduated in the class below us.
Oh, what's her name?
Kendra Rosemeck.
Okay.
She said she never had you as a teacher, but she knew who you were. Obviously, who didn't? So we're just kind of just trying to plug along here. So.
Oh, well, good. Congratulations. That's great, Fred.
Yep.
And
So,
Mike, I'm sorry. Are you done,
go
Fred?
ahead. No, yep, I'm done.
Mike, you have 3 girls?
I have 3 daughters. Yep. My oldest is 28. She's a teacher.
Wow. No way.
She went to Michigan State. My middle daughter's 26, and she runs the business with my wife. She's a cosmetologist and esthetician.
Okay.
And my youngest daughter's 23. She graduated from Wayne State.
Your alma? No, not your alma mater. You went to Oakland.
No, I went to Oakland University.
Yeah, Oakland.
So
Okay.
And my middle daughter has a 1-year-old. So
oh wow. And just recently you said. Yeah.
Yep. Last November.
Oh my God. Cutest damn thing. Oh God.
She's awesome.
And your wife, is she a Marine City person?
Her last year of school, she went to Marine City, but she's from the Milford area. So
okay.
Her senior year, she came to Marine City. So
is she in your grade or younger?
She's the same age as me, but she graduated a year behind me. She went to a Marian, the Catholic, the girls' school. So her credits didn't all transfer, so she had to go an extra year.
Oh wow.
So kind of like Fred, I think that happened to you too, right? With the religious credits or something, or
yeah, I was in college. Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. And Rob, you have one son, but he's 9, you said, right?
He's 9. So I started a little late. I was married twice, once to a girl in California, right out of high school, and
Okay.
it was 2.5 years. And then I met my wife, who actually was born in 1986. And so that's why I have a 9-year-old. That's my
Okay.
ex-wife. So I live here in Florida. He lives about 15 miles. I get the, divorced dad every other weekend, soccer coach, Boy Scouts. We had Boy Scouts last night. So I'm going through what most of my friends are going through, except for they're doing it with grandchildren, and I'm doing it with a
Yeah.
son.
So
Yeah.
how old were you when he was born then?
46, 47, something like. I'm
Okay.
54. He's 9.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, good for you. Yeah. I believe it or not. Well, I've got a high school friend who got remarried, and he's my age, 63, and he has 2 little girls in his second family. One is I don't think even in school yet. So
Right.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
poor bastard.
Glutton for punishment,
Well,
that guy.
He
Coach,
should
you have to-
discover bourbon if he hasn't already.
Right, yeah. Coach, the one thing about Rob, he was attracted to women because he listened to Deep Purple, and he was always attracted to girls that loved In Sync.
Well, that's
I can't argue or deny that statement.
What about Timmy? Do you know Timmy's story with his family already?
I do know
okay.
Timmy's story a little bit, but go ahead, please share, Tim. How's Jamie doing? Is she with you? I'm
What
assuming.
would you like me to? What would you like? Oh yeah, she's we're up up in the UP snowmobiling. Madison is graduated from Wayne State University. She's doing very well, working at Texas Roadhouse, doing well. And Morgan, we call her Mo, is in her third season
basketball.
at the with the COVID year, playing basketball. She's doing very well. So everything's great. The kids are doing good. We're just able to enjoy watching her play for maybe her final season. So we're enjoying that.
That's great.
Yep.
Where's she playing at, Tim?
SC4.
At St. Clair, at
Okay.
SC4. She's playing basketball. She took on my athletic ability playing basketball.
Did
as
she?
a joke.
Does she play on the West Side State ever, like at Grand Rapids Junior College? Or no, they don't have it.
Yeah, she gets
anymore.
Kellogg.
She gets over that way. I'll have to look at the schedule.
Yeah, I guess
but
I
she
keep on
does get
seeing
over
that. I
in
should
the
do
West
that
Side.
too. Yeah. And Mike, you said your oldest daughter's teacher. Where does she teach, and what does she teach?
Roseville Middle School. She teaches English and social studies.
Oh, good for her. Middle school, so she's kind of crazy.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah.
She wants to go. She was in the high school at a different school, and she wants to go back to teaching high school, but
Okay.
they don't have a
Yeah.
position open, which they're going to have one next year. It sounds like so.
Yeah.
She's going
Okay.
to move back to high school. That's what
Yeah.
she'd rather. teach.
Nothing like your classroom smelling like potpourri and BO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just one student.
Yeah.
They say, my sister is my youngest sister is a principal at KPAC Elementary.
Oh, no
and
way.
yeah, and she said
Nice.
that the
Nice.
younger the kids, the worse it is. She said that her school, it's horrible. They have like police there. They actually have a full-time
Police liaison.
liaison at the school.
At the
It's crazy.
elementary.
School. Yeah.
How big a school is that, Mike?
It's
Do you know
not
how-
very big. I mean,
KPAC
KPAC's a
is
pretty
not a big
small
community.
community. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he handles the high school and the elementary school and the middle school, but yeah, she said the younger, and my daughter Allie, she has her hands full with the 7th graders. She said it's crazy. You can't get them to do anything because that really, 7th, 8th grade, it doesn't really count towards anything as far as college or with their transcripts or anything. So they just don't care, and they just don't listen to the teachers, and I guess it's kind of a nightmare scenario for her, but
Yeah, it is tough. I hope she can hang in there because we need good teachers, that's for sure.
Yep.
But it's tough. There's no question about it. I mean, obviously there's a reason why young people get in the profession, because when you get older, you go, man, I don't want to do that.
yeah,
So-
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, Coach, really appreciate you being on the show. We'd love to have you back again. I believe you're the first teacher that from back in the day that we've had on the show. We've talked to Nancy Christie, who's only 2 blocks away from where I live.
Nancy Christie.
She said that she'd do the show, but we'd have to kind of do it from a different arena because she doesn't have the computer skills or the capacity to do it. But hey, we'll send you a link so you can actually watch the show, so you can see it. But we're on Facebook. You'll see it on Facebook. Download it. All you Marine City grads that watch this, I hope you come up with some great scenarios that you had with, or times that you had with Coach Carlson. It's on YouTube as well, Mr. Carlson, so you can go down and look at that. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up. You'll be notified when a new episode's coming up. We next week we have Todd May from the Sweet Tooth, and a former Marine City grad coming on the show, and we have a few other guests coming down the pike. But hey, thanks again, Coach. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, you guys. It's great talking to all of you. I really appreciate it. And
it was great that you did it.
If I do get to see this again, is there any way I can block out my portion, at least my face?
You can put tape on your monitor of your computer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or you can watch it on your phone and hold the thumb
How
over
can I
it.
block out your faces and then I only see mine? That's usually the question we get.
There you go. Yeah. Well, thanks, you guys. Really appreciate it. I had a ball. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Coach. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
you. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome, Timmy. Bye-bye.